of the Storytelling Festival this past weekend, plus a leadership conference celebrating African American history. Stay tuned. Trojan Vision Nightly News starts now.
From the High Definition Digital Production Center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Trojan Vision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Vision Nightly News for January 30th, 2012. I'm Kendra Richards.
And I'm Courtney Still. Thank you for joining us this evening. This weekend, 4 storytellers from around the United States were at Troy University entertaining audiences with tall tales. Bailey Majors shows us more.
Saturday, Troy students, faculty and staff, and story lovers in the community of Troy were able to enjoy the 6th annual Pike Piddler Storytelling Festival. The WPA Scratch Band played music while Kevin Kling, Bill Lepp, Susie Mama Waples, and Donald Davis took to the stage to share childhood stories and memories that entertained and touched the audience.
Every speaker was very good. I could relate to all 4 of them. They were all quite entertaining.
We're really fortunate in getting some of the best storytellers on the circuit. Students think it's more like stand-up comedy, but we also have tellers who tell stories that are heartbreaking.
During the festival, the tellers and the audience honored Catherine Tucker Wyndham with an orchestra of kazoos for which she was famous for playing. Tucker, a master storyteller who was involved with the Pike County Piddler Festival, recently passed away but left an impression.
Every speaker was very good. The only thing that was lacking was Miss Wyndham, her not being here this year.
The storytellers were able to pull laughter and tears from the audience, but what inspires these tellers to weave stories?
My ideas come from everywhere, things I've done, things I've heard people say, things me and my buddies thought about doing. By and large, when I think to myself, boy, that's a bad idea, then I know it's a good idea for a story.
A buddy of mine where I come from says you can survive anything if you have sense of humor and sense of self. And to me, storytelling gives us both of those. I mean, it's a good way for us to have a sense of ourselves and laugh every once in a while.
All in all, the Pike Piddlers and the storytellers were pleased with this year's festival and encourage everyone to come next year.
People come to the shows. It's great. It's been wonderful audiences, everyone.
It's a wonderful experience. It just appeals to a large age group. Very good family fun.
Bailey Majors, Troy Trojan Vision News.
Once again, this was the 6th annual Pike Piddler Storytelling Festival. The festival happens every year during the last weekend in January.
Hazing is defined as subjection to harassment or ridicule, and the act of hazing can be a big problem among fraternities and sororities on a college campus. One Troy University fraternity is spending this week educating Troy's Greeks about the activity. Tonight's Farmhouse and Troy Interfraternity Council will present a hazing awareness seminar in the Claudia Crosby Theater. The seminar is designed to help ensure Troy is a hazing-free campus.
And basically what it is an open conversation about hazing on our campus. We've had incidents in the past that we want to highlight as a chapter as well as the council for the university to kind of respond to what hazing is, how we can make our campus a haze-free campus as well as all our fraternity and sorority chapters as well. Troy University doesn't promote hazing, and we have in fact a contractual agreement with the university not to have hazing at all.
Tonight's seminar will begin at 7 in the Claudia Crosby Theater. The seminar is the first of this week's worth of activities, including information booths that will be set up in the quad throughout the week.
This weekend, Troy University will hold its annual leadership conference celebrating African American history. The conference brings both community members and Troy students together on campus to learn lessons on leadership, including lessons from some big-name keynote speakers. This year's speakers include the winner of the TV show The Apprentice, Randall Pinkett, and pastor of Atlanta's famed Ebenezer Baptist Church, Reverend Raphael Warnock. The conference has been a popular event every year and is growing in popularity for Troy students.
Students who come not only from this campus, but from the Dathan and from the Montgomery campus will come down for this leadership conference, and it has been the kind of event that people come back to year after year after year, and our students come back to. If they go as a freshman, they wind up going their freshman, their sophomore, their junior, and their senior year.
Registration is now open for the conference. If you are interested, you can contact Patterson at 670-3204.
And now taking a look at news from around the state, 3 suspects are in custody as part of the investigation into 5 dead bodies found in a Birmingham house. Police say the suspects have been interviewed by detectives and are being held in the Birmingham City Jail as the investigation continues. There's no word of the charges.
The status of the retrial of Alabama's gambling corruption case is unclear after the weekend death of a defendant. The trial was scheduled to begin Monday in federal court, but it wasn't certain if jury selection would go forward right away following the death Sunday of former legislative employee Joseph Ray Crosby. Montgomery County Coroner David Thrasher confirmed Crosby's death, but would not release additional information and said only that the investigation is continuing.
Authorities say a community meeting is planned for Monday to discuss a study of air quality that has delayed construction on a new school in Birmingham. Representatives from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the Jefferson County Health Department, and Birmingham City Schools are expected to take part in the community meeting.
Still to come on Trojan Vision Nightly News, the Trojan men's basketball team was on the road over the weekend facing an in-state rival. Daniel Percival will be in with more sports to let us know the details of the game.
But first, tomorrow voters head to the polls to cast ballots in the Florida presidential primary. More on that story when we come back.
Newt Gingrich faces an uphill battle with Florida's women voters. I'm Danielle Nottingham in Tampa. Coming up, can he close the gap in time?
This massive earthquake has rocked the city. Worst natural disaster this region has ever witnessed.
When a disaster strikes, time is a killer. The UN Central Emergency Response Fund jumpstarts relief efforts, which saves lives. Help us help in time. Donate now at rapiddisasterrelief.org.
In 1887, it was written that we want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act. And it's no different today than it was 125 years ago. Some things never change.
The mission of this university
is to prepare leaders who are going to go into the communities and make a difference. And I think it's within that culture of caring that excellence is found.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Trojan Vision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we go to Kendra Richards at the Global News Desk. Kendra?
Thanks, Courtney. Florida's Republican voters head to the polls in less than 24 hours to choose the candidate they want to challenge President Obama. The front runners are crisscrossing the state, marking their final push. Danielle Nottingham is in Tampa, Florida, with the latest.
Mitt Romney gave reporters something to chew on as he jetted around Florida.
Feels good today, doesn't it?
The former Massachusetts governor sounds confident he'll win Tuesday.
South Carolina, the crowds are good, but you can sense that it wasn't going our way. Here, the crowds are good, and you can sense it's coming our way. It's getting better and better every day.
Energetic crowds are greeting Romney across Florida. He secured a double-digit lead with focused attacks on Newt Gingrich.
People realize that if they want to see change in Washington, you can't just elect the same people to take different chairs.
Newt Gingrich is drawing big crowds too, but some Florida voters are expressing reservations. The latest Miami Herald poll shows a widening gender gap. Mitt Romney has a 19% lead among women. Women supporting the former House Speaker say his conservative positions trump his marital record.
Most people have some skeletons in their closet. I don't necessarily believe everything I hear about the open marriage.
As he slips further in the polls, Gingrich is painting Romney as a liberal and a liar.
You cannot get to be president if you don't have the courage to tell the truth to the American people.
President Reagan's son Michael joined Gingrich Monday, arguing he's the best candidate to carry on his father's conservative legacy. The campaign insists no matter what happens Tuesday, Gingrich is staying in this race. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Tampa, Florida.
A team of monitors from the United Nations is inspecting Iran's nuclear facilities. They're on day 2 of 3 visit to Tehran. Tina Cross reports from London.
UN nuclear inspectors are in Iran, and they're optimistic their visit will help ease tensions.
We are looking forward to a start of a dialogue.
But Iran insists it has a right to develop nuclear energy. Iranian hardliners showed up at the airport when inspectors arrived. They carried posters with photos of nuclear scientists who've been murdered in recent months. The foreign minister told UN inspectors they can stay as long as they'd like. The U.S. is concerned Iran is trying to make a nuclear bomb. Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta told CBS 60 Minutes Iran could have a bomb ready in about a year.
We will take whatever steps are necessary to stop it,
including military steps.
There are no options that are off the table.
An Iranian army spokesman says any U.S. aggression will be crushed. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
4-year-old Ethiopian girl has a whole new life ahead, and for her thanks goes to a generosity of dedications of a team of doctors and nurses in New York City. Little Samarit Halarium was born with a rare life-threatening facial disfigurement. She's under 8 surgeries in a New York's Roosevelt Hospital to correct the defect and give her a chance to a long, normal, healthy life. Dorothy Jordino introduces us to little Sammy.
Samirawit Halamariam likes to have fun like any typical 4-year-old girl. But her short life has been anything but typical. Little Sammy was born with a facial birth defect that made her an outcast in her Ethiopian fishing village. It's called a venous malformation, a problem with the blood vessels in her face.
It can become quite deforming, it can start producing hemorrhages, it can produce a lot of additional problems besides the cosmetic aspect.
Dr. Alejandro Berenstein of the Vascular Birthmark Institute of New York heard Sammy's story and arranged for the little girl to come to the States to undergo a cutting-edge treatment. Her family couldn't make the trip, so little Sammy is staying with Beverly Brandwine, a nurse who often acts as a foster mother to children in these situations.
She was a challenge, but you get so much back from these children.
Dr. Berenstein's team performed 8 surgeries here at Roosevelt Hospital during an 8-month time period to transform Sammy's face.
Sammy will be going back to Ethiopia soon to show her family her remarkable transformation.
Can you give me a hug?
Her foster mom says she already sees a big difference in Sammy's personality.
When we went to the playground, before she had her surgery, she would just stand and watch the kids and cover her face. After she had her surgery, she would just jump in the playground, and she was the leader.
There's still a 10 to 15% chance of the condition coming back, and Sammy will still need follow-up surgeries back home. But she's ready to face whatever lies ahead. Duarte Geraldino, CBS News, New York.
And that wrapped things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories across the country and around the globe, including a story about a nearly 20-meter-high factory made out of bamboo, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Courtney.
Thanks, Kendra. And now Daniel Percival joins us with some sports. So, Daniel, the men's basketball team is back at action, but not exactly at home this time.
Well, that's right. They were in the state of Alabama, but not in action at home. They were on the road in Mobile playing on Sunday. So, well, they got Saturday off. They didn't get the weekend off, and it was an exciting game down in Mobile. Came down to the wire, so let's get into those details. But coming up first, the only team that was in action on Troy's campus this weekend was the women's tennis team. And after a loss to open the home schedule on Saturday, things brightened up for the Trojans on Sunday. Dustin Carroll gives us a look.
The Troy women's tennis team played their first home games of the season this weekend, when they took on Auburn Saturday and Florida A&M Sunday afternoon. Troy fell to Auburn 5-2, but the Trojans were able to win one doubles match and the 1 seed in the singles matches. Coach Eric Hayes talks about Saturday's home opener.
Well, it was, Auburn's a good team, but we had them at home. We had a good crowd. The doubles came down to one match. We won at 1, Auburn won at 2, and we didn't take care of it at 3, so we were down 1-0. And we won 2 matches, but we didn't find 2 more, and we should have. And I was very frustrated with their effort and how we competed. It was unacceptable.
Sunday afternoon saw Troy pick up their first victory of the season by beating Florida A&M. The Trojans won all 3 doubles matches and swept through the singles matches without losing a single set on their way to a 7-0 victory. Coach Hayes said he challenged his team Sunday after Saturday's loss.
Good rebound after yesterday. Yesterday's match with Auburn was disappointing. We lost 5-2, but we had plenty of chances, and I felt it was a match we should have won, so we challenged them today, and they came out and won convincingly, which was good. They needed a win.
Despite only being 1-4 this season, the Trojans have played a brutal schedule so far, by playing number 1 ranked Florida, number 7 Georgia, and number 46 Kansas State. Hayes says playing these teams will do nothing but help the team later on in the season.
I think it's just going to, it's frustrating for them when you play the number 1, 5, 30, and whatever ranked teams, but I just think it pays off later when we get in our conference matches and when, we play teams we have to beat to go to the NCAA tournament to earn that automatic bid. I just think it pays off later. Our record will even out and come together later. I'm not concerned about our record right now.
Dustin Carroll, Troy Trojan Vision Sports.
The women's tennis team has now picked up their first win of the season and will look for more success at the Clemson Winter Indoor Classic this weekend. The Trojan men's basketball team mounted a massive second-half comeback Sunday, but fell just short of a win. The men erased a 20-point halftime deficit, but fell victim to a last-second shot in a 68-66 loss to the Jags in Mobile. The Trojans trailed 47-27 early in the second half, but took a lead at 59-57 with over 5 minutes to go and seemed poised to complete the comeback as they led 64-63 with less than 2 minutes to go. However, with the score tied at 66, South was able to hit the final bucket with 1.8 seconds remaining to snag the win. Emil Jones led Troy with 13 points and 10 rebounds for his third double-double of the season. 4 other Trojans were in double figures as well, with Will Weathers and Justin Wright scoring 12 and R.J. Scott and Alan Jones contributing 11. The Trojans return to the court on Thursday when they host FIU in the first of 3 straight at Sartain Hall. And the women had their own trouble with the Jags as well, but it wasn't a last-second shot that cost them the game. The Trojan women's basketball team fell to South Alabama 63-26 on Sunday. Brooke Bowie, D'Angela Sword, and Sarah McCappian led their team in scoring as they each recorded 4 points. It is the first time Bowie has led the Trojans in scoring, and McCappian's third time in 4 games. The 26 points on Sunday was the lowest point total for the Trojans all season, and the 37-point deficit was the largest by the Trojans this season. The Trojans now prepare for FIU this Thursday in the first game of a doubleheader with the men. Tip-off is set for 5:15 in Sartain. So Kendra, Courtney, while the tennis team was able to pick up a win, congratulations to them. Both basketball teams were not able to win on the road, but better luck next time. They'll be on the home court, so maybe the home crowd will be there to support them and give them better luck.
Give them a little reason to get a win for us.
That's right.
Thank you, Danielle.
We need a win.
Definitely.
Still to come on Trojan Vision Nightly News, find out how you can become a part of the 125th Anniversary Cookbook.
Plus, we've seen beautiful weather outside for the past few days. Can we expect to see more? Bree?
Well, we have had those gorgeous conditions over the past few days, but those conditions may change throughout the rest of the week. I'll have more coming up in weather.
Today is a special day. Today we gather as a nation and as an international community to recognize the selfless decision of one of the most influential women of our time. She's been recognized by religious figures and politicians around the world. To us, she's just Rachel, but to the rest of the world, she's the woman who, after having one too many drinks, chose not to drive home buzzed. Here today to honor Rachel is the family whose lives she spared.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy Trojan Vision Nightly News.
And now Bree Sanders joins with a look at weather.
So Bree, it's been actually pretty, weather outside. Will it continue?
Well, we have seen those picture-perfect conditions over the past few days, but it looks like throughout the rest of the week, those conditions may change. I'll get into that in just a moment, though. First, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on campus, we see that the sun has fallen and that nightfall has taken over our campus. So whether you're headed to class or headed home from work, make sure you're paying attention to the roads. Taking a look at our current conditions right now, we have partly cloudy skies, temperatures at 62 degrees, dew points at 32 degrees, humidity is at 33%, barometers at 30.36 inches and rising. Winds are coming in from the southwest at 6 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high today of 62, a low of 39. There was no rain today. The sun rises at 6:38 a.m. and it should set at 5:17 p.m. Looking at our temperatures around the state, overall the state is experiencing some upper 50 to lower 60 degree temperatures. Mobile coming in at 63, Huntsville at 53, Birmingham at 58, Montgomery at 62, Troy at 58, Phoenix City at 62, and Dothan at 61. Looking at our temperatures across the southeast, in our area we're experiencing some lower 60 degree temperatures, and as we head throughout the rest of the southeast, we see those temperatures decrease just a little bit in the Carolinas, Florida in the mid 70s, as well as certain parts of Texas in the mid 70s as well. Looking at our current temperatures across the United States, here on the west coast, they're experiencing some lower 50 degree temperatures, and as we head throughout the Midwest, those temperatures decrease just a little bit into about the upper 40s. Current surface map, we have a few high pressure systems here in the Midwest with some heavy to moderate rain going on, another reason for their cooler temperatures. Taking a closer look at our area, we have a few low pressure systems here, but we do see that cold and that warm front that passed through a couple of days ago, bringing in that 20% chance of rain that we had. Looking at our current dew points, here in our area across the southeast, we see that dew points are in the teens. Now you have to be careful because here when you see the lower dew points, that means that it's very dry outside, not very comfortable. So the wind, when it is very windy outside, it's cutting very sharp. So you might want to look out for that. Travel weather over the next 12 hours. In our area, we should be okay, but if you head to maybe certain parts of Texas, you might want to grab an umbrella with you just to stay dry. As we look at our precipitation forecast for the next 4 to 8 hours in our area, it looks like we will be experiencing about half an inch to an inch of rain or so, about a 50% chance of rain coming in through the next few days. So you might want to grab that umbrella and that light jacket. As we move into tomorrow, we do see that we should be okay, no rain, but like I said, for Wednesday and Thursday, you might want to grab that umbrella with you. As we look into Friday, we see that rain moves back out of our area, but it's still touching the southern part of the state, so keep a lookout for that. Tonight's forecast, we have partly cloudy skies, winds are light and variable, coming in from the east-southeast at 3 miles per hour with a low of 41. For tomorrow's forecast, we have sunny skies with a mix of cloudy skies all day. Light winds coming in from the south-southeast at 9 miles per hour with a high of 72. So much like today, it will be warm, a little bit warmer tomorrow. A very beautiful day, picture perfect, if I must say so. Class outlook for tomorrow at about 7 o'clock, it will be about 44 degrees. It'll be pretty cool in the morning, but as we move throughout the rest of the day, it will get to have about 69 around 3, so you might want to enjoy lunch outside tomorrow. Taking a look at our 4-day forecast. For tomorrow, we have that high of 72 with a low of 49. Wednesday, we have that high of 72 with a low of 53. About a 30% chance of rain there. As we head into Thursday, we have that high of 72 with a low of 53. It gets up to about a 50% chance of rain there. And Friday, we have that high of 73 degrees. So, Kendra, over the past few days, we've had those picture-perfect conditions even today, but it looks like maybe as we move on throughout the rest of the week, it will get to those rainy conditions. But even with the rain coming in, the temperatures are still in the mid-70s, so it'll be pretty warm for the rest of the week.
Okay, well, that's okay with the warm temperatures, but I'm not looking forward to the rain, though. But
right, it looks like it came back, so we can dust off that rain gear and get prepared for that.
I know, just hope it gets better by next week, hopefully. Maybe we'll have better weather without all the rain.
Right.
I don't mind the temperatures, but the rain.
Right.
Thanks, Bree.